We were promised freedom, yet somehow, with more options and choices than ever, we seem more lost, fragile, and more easily controlled. This project, Psyche and Polis, exists because something vital is missing in our culture. People are arguing constantly on social media and other venues, anywhere people can talk about serious topics, and arguing about political solutions, cultural solutions to whatever situation is grabbing the attention. The problem's deeper than that. Our problems lie at the foundational level. They're spiritual, psychological, and mythological. We're starving for meaning in a world flooded by noise. For thousands of years, we had shared myths. There were stories told around campfires. They entertained us, they taught us. But we've abandoned those myths in favor of a more rational, materialistic lens. And we lost something along the way in getting rid of those. Those abandoned myths carried hard won and hard learned survival patterns slowly accumulated over generations and passed down as fireside entertainment. We abandoned the myths thinking we were freeing ourselves from the chains and anchors of our ancestors, but in reality, we just threw away our maps. And now we have little idea how to navigate the objective reality that we each subjectively experience. With the abandonment of our myths, common sense evaporated, and it's no coincidence that the two phenomena happened together. Lack of common sense is almost a cliche at this point. I used to think that common sense was a sense that was shared by everybody, sort of like a human instinct. I'm pretty sure I was wrong on that. I think common sense is a sense about common things. It's a learned behavior, not an instinctual one. The myths and fairy tales that we were taught as children is how we learned common sense. We stopped stopped telling the stories, we stopped having common sense. We had no way of knowing it as we were children, hearing those stories, but those silly little stories were training us how to navigate the world. In the vacuum left by the death of common sense and the withering of meaning in modern life, algorithms have taken over. Algorithms are written to keep our eyes on the screens with little to no thought to the far reaching consequences. Unfortunately, the best way to keep us engaged on our screens is to target our limbic system, get the emotions riled up, get an emotional response triggered, and it's easier to keep us engaged. You gotta keep checking back in for those dopamine hits. We're floundering in a meaningless flood of dopamine with no map and no compass. It makes listening to each other challenging at best and places people firmly into tribalistic camps. Reacting emotionally makes rational discourse an uphill battle, as anyone that's tried posting in thoughtful content has probably experienced. Breaking through the rage noise feels impossible most days. The result is that we become a society allergic to nuance and addicted to outrage. We've forgotten how to think. Instead, we put on the uniform for whichever side most closely aligns with our personality driven tastes and sensibilities. We perform the role associated with whatever tribe we fall into and signal that we belong rather than think critically about issues. We no longer feel our emotions honestly, and we've lost the ability to trust our intuition to let it guide our reason down meaningful paths. Without the inherited wisdom of shared myths, we've become psychologically rootless, unmoored from the grounding that enables us to truly face the incomprehensible reality that we subjectively experience. Ultimately, as a result, we confuse indulgence with meaning. We're obsessed with freedom, but we never really stop to think about exactly what freedom means or why it's important. Freedom, I think, is our ability to act without constraints. It's our ability to do as we please. Consequently, we will never truly have ultimate freedom, as our actions are always constrained by reality itself, the actions of others, or our own past actions. Liberty, in distinction, is our ability to say no. It's an absence of external force on our actions. This subtle distinction is going to be important as I move this project forward. In our modern age, we are free to consume just about anything, free to say anything, or even free to identify as anything. Yet, we've never been easier to scare, addict, or manipulate. That's not liberty, that's sedation in a costume. I'm starting this channel to explore these ideas in depth. I think I've explored them about as thoroughly as I can without testing them in the wild. So we're going to explore a variety of topics stemming from these premises across several disciplines through my amateur lens. If this resonates with you, welcome aboard. I'll be happy to have you along with the journey. If you think I'm an idiot, let me know in the comments. That's the only way I'm going to get less wrong. It's kind of the whole point of this thing is to think out loud. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.